Welcome back to shed more light on this issue. We are very much delighted to have with us via phone Mr. Raof Gaafar, our economic expert. Thank you very much for being with us, sir. A very good afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Sir, as we listened to the detailed comprehensive report regarding the external debt of Egypt, which decreased by 9% in 6 months, how do you see this decrease and in numbers? Do you see it as really equivalent with the efforts exerted by the state to improve our economic status, or the challenges and the changes around us are unfortunately acting as obstacles on the way?
Well, obstacles are always there. And fortunately, the world is now faced with a lot of problems that affect not only our area, but everywhere else in the world. So despite this, I mean, we have made a colossal effort to attract investors, and we have succeeded, as a matter of fact. And this was the direct reason why the debt went down, because money coming from abroad for investments affects very much the figure you just mentioned, and plays the most important role to reduce the foreign debts. Definitely.
And
so,
even,
yes,
sir, our ministries of finance, whether Dr. Mohammed Ma'it, our former Minister of Finance, or Dr. Kojuk, the current minister, they both really urge the international economic institutions to put into consideration the challenges and the changes and the difficulties which are taking place in the region before evaluating the Egyptian economic performance. And this is exactly what happened. It's a must, it's not a luxury. How do you see now the way the IMF, the World Bank, other international economic institutions are looking at the Egyptian economy and its development in the current phase?
Well, we are an emerging economy. And of course, the financial institutions, as you rightly mentioned, whether European or international, like World Bank and IMF and what have you, they don't just come in and give countries money. And as I mentioned earlier, the world is all faced with challenges, but they evaluate the measures we are taking. They evaluate the performance of our economy, and this is the real measure on which, or criteria on which they base their readiness to help and to assist. So we made a huge effort. Of course, I'm not talking about earlier when we prepared ourselves with all infrastructure required and necessary, but we are making efforts, and we are on the right path, and that is the reason why investors come, and why financial institutions, they give us their, forget about what they give us in terms of money, but the idea that they accept to give us funds means that they trust our economy.
Yeah.
And this seal of trust is the main attraction point for all investors.
Yeah. Sir, let's tackle another side of the coin, which is that trust with which the European Union is dealing with Egypt regarding our economic performance, and to have this strategic partnership between the EU and Egypt, particularly in the fields of industry, investment, trade, you name it. And if simply, as we're always saying, the money is coward, the money capitals are coward, and if they do not know for sure that their investments is going to be a win-win situation, or they are going to profit from it, they are not going to have this strategic partnership with Egypt. How do you see this trust and this trust's impact on the ground?
Absolutely. You said it right. Nobody gives a country money out of charity. No. their interest is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And of course, two sides' interest is the name of the game. And if the European Union didn't know that its partnership with Egypt will be beneficiary to both sides, they wouldn't have gone into the strategic partnership in which we are now.
Amen.
They might have given us something, a project here, a project there, but to raise the level of cooperation to strategic level and to full-size cooperation and partnership, it means that they trust our economy and our performance, and they are confident that there will be a win-win situation. That is why they are coming in open arms and investing and cooperating, because they know that at the end of the day they will be as beneficiary as us from this endeavor.
And actually, we are doing our homework vis-a-vis opening new horizons for investments, whether it's industrial, whether it's renewable energy, it's reclaiming huge numbers of hectares or fadoms all over Egypt. How do you see this issue in specific? Because opening new horizons for cooperation and for investment in different fields, I think it's also one of the important motives or one of the important factors to be accurate to attract more foreign direct investment. How do you see this, sir?
Absolutely. We are talking infrastructure to start with, and we are talking resources. As long as we have the resources, whether they are agricultural resources in terms of agricultural products or natural resources or you name it, whatever the resource is, even human resource. This is also an asset for the investor to come. So we have prepared the way for investors, and then we have enough assets to make the investor sure that his cooperation will be successful and this cooperation will be a win-win situation. So
in addition to the field visits by our top executives, our top executives are not anymore in offices. Now you are going to find Prime Minister Dr. Madbouli, ministers, and having all the time direct contact with the investors to eliminate all obstacles, to make sure that there is no more bureaucracy. Even the president himself, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, is keen to say in every occasion that we are encouraging the golden license issue, that no more bureaucracy, no more time should be taken to have your license to start immediately, whether for the new entrepreneurs or the new startups or the big companies. How do you see this also as one of the important efforts exerted?
One of the most important. The investors in the old days suffered from, as you rightly said, red tape, bureaucracy, time to get things moving. Now with the licenses and gold licenses, things can be finished in very, very short time. And this is one of the points that encourages the investors to come in, because they can start very soon. They don't lose time going around finishing papers and what have you. In addition to that, of course, the changes that occurred in the legislations and in the laws that are governing the investments, this again represents a very important advantage for the, of course, for the investors. But one thing one has to mention, and we pray God to keep, is that we, in the midst of all the turmoil that is happening around us, Egypt is still an oasis of peace and security.
And we hope that the whole world is going to enjoy peace, security and stability, because simply the planet cannot bear any more. Well, sir, you are all the time an added value to our programs. We were very much delighted to have with us via phone Mr. Raof Gaafar, our economic expert. Thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good afternoon. Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more.